On January 4th, 1987, two trains collided head-on at a speed of over 100 miles an hour, where 16 lives were taken that day. Earlier that day, Amtrak train number 94, the Colonial, was traveling north from Washington, D.C. to Boston, Massachusetts. The train had 16 coaches and two AEM-7 locomotives leading, 903 and behind 900. 900 being the prototype of the AEM-7s for Amtrak. Meanwhile, east of Baltimore, three Conrail B-36-7s are leaving Bayview Yard and heading to Enola Yard in Harrisburg. The train only consisted of three locomotives, light and no freight cars. The train consisted of B-36-7s 5044, 5052, and 5045. At gunpower interlocking is where the two trains will meet. The Conrail will stop next to a set of tracks and let the Amtrak pass them. Then use the set of tracks to switch onto the Amtrak tracks, however, being behind the Colonial. And that's how they would safely pass. However, the Conrails would pass signals telling them to slow down and even stop. However, they would not follow these signals until it was too late. When the crew realized that they did not have a clear set of tracks ahead of them and that they were switching onto it, however, when they hit the brakes, it was already too late because of the momentum and speed that the Conrails were going, and they had switched onto the track. And with the Colonial barreling down at 120 miles an hour, there was zero time to react, and it was far too late to do anything else. The trains collided at 108 miles an hour. 903 and 5045, which bore the brunt of the collision, were completely destroyed. 903 was thrown to the west side of the tracks among some trees, and the front half of it was sheared completely off its frame. 5045 exploded on impact. The kinetic energy passed clean through the empty cab and right into the motor. 900, which was still on the tracks, however derailed, was destroyed as well by the coaches that were slamming into the back of it, piling up behind it, destroying its frame beyond repair. As for the Conrails, 5045 was damaged beyond repair. 5052, which was in the middle of the three, suffered damage to the cab after 5045 exploded right in front of it. 5044 had its long hood damaged after the two other locomotives, 5052 and 5045, hit the back of it with the force of the impact. However, the crew were perfectly fine. In the end, 16 people were killed that day, and hundreds were injured. 903, 900, and 5045 were damaged beyond repair. Now everyone would be asking, why would this happen? Well, there are multiple reasons, some more important and vital than others. It was later revealed that in 5044's cab, the approach signal's light was completely gone, and the whistle that was supposed to alert the crew inside 5044 if they passed a signal other than green. However, it was silenced. It was also revealed that the crew in the Conrails were smoking marijuana joints. This meant that they could have lost their concentration, hence why they missed the signals telling them to slow down and stop. Also, the speed limits for the freight trains were 50 miles an hour, and for the passengers in the area, 105. And it was later found out that Jerome Evans was making the Amtrak train go 125 miles an hour in an 105 mile per hour zone. And as for the Conrails, they were going 60. Both trains were breaking the speed limit. However, even if the Amtrak was following the speed limit, it wouldn't have prevented the crash because at such speed, it wouldn't have been able to stop with the room given between the Conrails and the Amtrak. And same thing with the Conrails. They had overshot the signal due to their momentum and speed, and 10 miles per hour shorter would probably not have made a difference, and could have possibly made the crash worse if they slowed down while on the junction, and the Amtrak could have sideswiped it, crashing into the houses next to the Northeast Corridor. The crew of the Conrails were eventually sentenced to 5 years in prison by manslaughter by train. Many people think this was too much of a light sentence. They should have been sentenced more. I personally agree on this. They were wrong to smoke marijuana joints on the job, since they were smoking in the cab as well.